everyone, it's Jenny with Easter Seals. Today, I would like to talk to you about students taking a break. We often get questions from teachers wanting to know what's the difference between teaching a student to request a break and timeout. Well, that's a great question, and we're going to talk about it. When you are teaching a child to request a break, they are learning to be self-efficient and learning how to get that break in another way. Typically, when they don't know how, it's challenging behaviors that we see, right? So this is giving them a way to appropriately request a break from a task, an activity, or sometimes even a person. And that's okay. We all need breaks from a variety of things in our lives. First, I want to show you a couple of examples of break cards. So this one just says, I need a break. So that one would be fine. This one is a break ticket. And depending on the icon system that you have, you may have any number of options for your break card. The important thing to remember is use one consistent card and make sure that everyone's using that same one across your classroom and anywhere else that student goes. You will need to have a break area in your classroom. It needs to be an area where they can sit, they can do neutral or calming activities. We don't want items in there that they hate or find punishing. And we don't want items in there that they love and they want to stay and do all of the time. It's just a place to go and get calm. Maybe you have some fidgets in there. Maybe you have one of those water glitter tubes that they can turn back and forth. Maybe you have some calming sounds. You'll know the kind of things that your students find calming to put back there. Some teachers do not have an area for a designated break space, or perhaps you are an activity teacher and your space doesn't allow for that. In that case, something you might be able to do is take a box of calming items or a container, put in some different calming items, and they have a specific spot to sit, or they sit at their desk, and they can use that box of calming items to support them in calming down and getting ready to work again. So when you get ready to teach, I suggest teaching the student before the challenging behavior occurs. Give them time to practice when they are not upset or frustrated. That is really going to help the skill of using communication to request versus a challenging behavior. So they're calm, you have 5 minutes to transition, maybe that's a good time to practice. You show them how. So you're going to have a card, and maybe it's not a card. Let me just stop here and tell you a bit about communication. If they have an AAC device, maybe you have break scheduled or programmed into their device. If they're using PECS, maybe you have a different symbol that they're using. If they are vocally speaking most of the time, you still want to have a visual of some kind. The reason is, if they are frustrated or upset or anxious for any reason, it might be difficult for them to express that they need a break. So you want to have a visual where they can go, maybe they just tap it. Whatever it is that they need to do to communicate that they need a break appropriately, you need to accept that. So, whatever system they're going to use to request a break, practice. If they're still not able to do it independently, you might need to use some prompts. So if I had a student that needed to request breaks, I would have this break card close to their seat, wherever they sit the majority of the time. Or if they have a schedule that they travel with, it might be on that schedule because I want them to have it all of the time. So then when you see some precursor behaviors, you might just lean over and tap it and prompt them that it's still there. you can still request that. The really important piece to remember is that if the student requests to go to a break, then that is them using functional communication to get a need met. But if an adult takes them and moves them to another area or says, hey, you need a break, go over there, that is a completely different thing. That would be timeout. So you have to teach students to request a break. How are you going to teach it? Well, I have some strategies for you. Once your student requests a break, you are going to provide that break immediately. We don't have to finish a problem. If we're doing a worksheet, we don't have to finish anything that's going on. Immediately, they get to go and take a break. Now, a break does not mean fun and free time. We often hear concerns about that. It's not where they go and sit and play with their favorite items. Once your student is back there, they don't get to stay forever. So you're going to need a timer. Well, how much time do I give them? It depends on the student. You are going to have an idea of how long it takes specific students to calm down, and then you're going to roughly give them that much time. If it's time to go back to work and the anxiety or the frustration shoots back up and you can see it, that maybe the fists are clenching again or any of those other types of precursor behaviors, you can also teach them to say, 1 more minute, please, or something like that. You'll want to have a visual for that, and you'll want to reinforce that. So give it to them when they request it, and then try again when the timer goes off again. Another tip that we want to share with you is putting your break visual on your lanyard. Most teachers wear a lanyard around their neck or clip to their pocket, and a lot of teachers also have visual supports on those lanyards. A break card is a great item to add to your lanyard. That way, no matter where you are in the school, you can flip to this break card and let a student request a break. I've mentioned precursor behaviors a couple of times. Let me clarify. If you have a student that you look over to their desk and maybe they're clenching their hands, or they are rocking in their chair, or maybe they are grinding their teeth, and they don't typically do any of those things, I would consider those a precursor behavior or behaviors. Something is about to happen. They are feeling something, anxious, frustrated, whatever it is. I would go and do some prompt and say, hey, maybe it's time for a break. And I would connect the behaviors I see to them taking a break so that they can start to form that connection themselves. So I might say, I see you clenching your fists. I see you rocking a little bit in your chair. I hear you grinding your teeth. Those things made me think you might be anxious, or you might be upset, or there's something that you need to take a break from. You can take a break. You can request a break. Here's your break card. And make that connection, because sometimes that is difficult for our students to connect. Another question that we often get is, well, isn't the student just trying to escape their work? Maybe. That could be exactly what's going on. But if you think about it, adults need to take breaks too. Maybe we've been listening to people talk all day and we need 5 minutes of quiet. And so we escape that loud environment for 5 minutes. So taking a break or escaping something for a few minutes is okay. Just know they're going to go back and finish. They will not be on a break forever. I wanted to give some additional extra fun things that you can do with break. So after your students have mastered requesting a break and returning back when their timer goes off, you can start to do a couple of things. You could create a visual like this that says, you know, I need a break, and it tells the student the 3 things to do as part of their break. These activities are Velcroed on so they can be swapped in and out for specific students. And of course, they have to be taught how to do these 3 items before you put this in place. Another thing that you might find helpful is if a student is requesting a break over and over and over and over, which will happen once they learn that, you know, they can go take a break when they ask for a break. What you can do is set a number of breaks they can take during a specified amount of time. And so maybe they have a little card on their desk. Let's pretend this is that. And they have 3 break cards that they can use during the 2-hour literacy block or whatever the time frame is. And so they can pull 3 of those, take their 3 breaks, and when those breaks are finished during that time, they don't have any more breaks to ask for. Now, maybe they go to lunch and they come back and their breaks are reset and it's for another certain period of time. So you can expand, you can start to reduce the amount of time that they spend in break. This is really a flexible system after they learn the process. So a lot of potential, and it's a great skill for life to teach a kid how to request taking a break, because we all need breaks.